What is up, guys? Welcome to my very first vlog. So it was more than a notion to get this, and I'm still not crazy about the framing. That's better. I can live with that. Sorry in advance for my chair, but it is what it is. So today, Social Media Wednesday. Been hitting it on every single platform. This morning we were live on Instagram. Right now we're live on YouTube, and tonight we'll be going live on Facebook. So if you follow us on Facebook, be sure to check us out. We'll be going live on Brian, on my just regular Brian Gurley, not Random Thoughts. So anyway, I don't know if you heard, I am crazy excited, but it looks like there's going to be the first ever mixed martial arts trade. I know. And the people that it's with, I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, but so okay. I don't even know where to go. The end goal or what just happened. So there looks like there's a trade being worked out for Demetrius Johnson for Ben Askren. Askren's with ONE FC. Demetrius Johnson's with the UFC. They're going to release both of the fighters. They can switch because ONE FC ain't playing with the money, as you can see with Eddie Alvarez. Was it Eddie Alvarez or Frankie Alvarez? Eddie Alvarez. I believe Eddie Alvarez. Was it Frankie Edgar? Oh my gosh. See, and this is the beautiful thing about doing this. It gives me a chance to look stuff up. You know, when you're doing like YouTube videos or Instagram videos, even live, you really don't get a chance to kind of look stuff up. And so I'm kind of really excited about the opportunity to just, you know, have a more laid back situation. And of course, they don't have anything about their new fighters. It's up there though. I can't believe I can't remember who it is. I'm almost positive it's Frankie Edgar. Or Eddie Alvarez, I'm sorry. Let me do it like this. Process of elimination. ONE FC. Yeah, so like I thought, it's Eddie Alvarez. And they paid that guy, and he says his contract is worth 8 figures. Hold up. I don't know if you caught that. 8 figures. I mean, and that's, realistically, that's what all of the top fighters should be making. If you got a name, you know, no shade if you don't have a name and you're working to get it, but if you got a name, you should be making enough money to where you can comfortably only do that. You know, which is like, let's say 2 to 3 fights a year, and the rest of the time you're training or you're doing something to be a figure in the UFC or whatever organization you're gonna be a part of. So anyway, before I get off on the tangent, because I definitely want to talk about that, we're gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna put a pin in that, and then we're gonna come back around to it. But what I wanted to say, why I'm so excited, Askren Khabib. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it. Holy crap balls. Ben Askren versus Khabib. I don't know what the numbers would be, you know, because people don't know who Ben Askren is. But man, if you grapple, if you train, if you know anything about fighting, you have got to be rock solid for the thought of Ben Askren versus Khabib. What in the world. It's like Batman versus Joker. You know what I mean? An immovable object meets an unstoppable force. I mean, everyone else, we all knew the Conor thing. Come on, man. Conor doesn't stand a chance because look, one thing I was telling people the whole time, you're underestimating Khabib's chin. This guy is not going to go down. He stood. It's so, I don't even think people talk about enough how disrespectful it was that he's in the third round. He stood there and was like, what's good? What's good? Show me, you know? He wanted to completely beat him so that there was nothing he could say. You know, I just couldn't get a shot on him, you know, or he just kept taking me down. Okay, yeah, he did. But he stood up with you in the third round. He lost the third round, but it wasn't a smashing like he was smashing you, you know. And again, there's no shade. See, this is the thing this is where I'm trying to go. There's no shade to Conor. I love Conor. I didn't at first. I thought it was too much. And I'm not a big fan of all the talking, but I get it. And he does it so well. You know what I mean? You got to respect people who can do things well. Conor does it well, and it seems natural. But I know, and I'm not a great fighter, but one of my best friends, a guy named Julian Williams, out of Orlando, Florida, who's at Fusion XL, Jacare, Mike Perry, Alice Nicholson, and a ton of other great fighters. He mauls people because he has a similar top game. Now, why he isn't in the UFC? You got to ask Dana White, because it's ridiculous to me. They say you're 35, you're too old. Okay, well, put him up against whoever you want to put him up against. See how old he is then. You know, it's simple to me. Put him up against a young guy with a great streak, strong, fast, you know? Because he'll be able to recover faster because he's about to get that. Anyway, Ben Askren, Khabib, I am praying, please let it happen. Please. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Just Wednesday. Hell of a Wednesday. Hell of a Wednesday to see that Demetrius Johnson and Ben Askren might be trading. Now, I'm a little weird about Johnson. You know, I love that guy. And it's amazing that someone can defend a belt that many times and you're just like, oh, we're good, thank you. I mean, unless they're just trying to get away from the division, the weight class, but whatever, man, it doesn't matter. He'll be all right, I believe so. I hope so. I mean, he does a lot of stuff with his gaming and his YouTube channel, so I think he'll be all right. He's a smart guy, and I'm sure he's made lots of money. He's done a lot with Metro PC, so he's a smart guy. He should be fine. He will be fine, and I'm sure they'll take care of him. And he'll just maul the people over there at 1FC. Unless they got some, I don't know if they have some top fighters. I'm not really familiar with 1FC. I've heard it mentioned as places and destinations that people have gone. But all I really know is UFC, Bellator, and now PFL. Only because I have a friend who's fighting in PFL. Which I think is dope. You know, pay people as they go. Have a nice prize tournament. It's exciting. I think it's only going to get better. You know, that's the thing. UFC needs to lose a little bit of its dominance on mixed martial arts. And it's not that I don't like UFC. I love UFC, and I'm so happy to see where it's gone. But it's just like I think any one of us can fall victim to that kind of like power when it's just like you are the thing, you know? Like Nike kind of fell victim to it, and they gave up a little room to like Reebok and Adidas and Converse. They're still the thing, you know, because our generation, my generation, grew up and that's what you wore. So, you know, man, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, so coming back to what I was thinking about, because I remembered, it's amazing. This is an amazing Wednesday. I wonder if we're ever going to see a time where, like the NFL, you have the merging of the UFC and Bellator to become one similar thing. And what made me think of that, I was watching, I can't remember, I was either talking with someone or watching something, and somehow the thought of the top champions competing against each other, which would be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. But UFC doesn't really stand to gain anything from that, you know, especially if their fighters get beat. So I just can't see that happening unless they start hemorrhaging or they just start losing clout and they kind of drop back to a place where Bellator is, and then it makes sense, you know? Or if WME just says that's what we want to do, you know, because they don't care about UFC. They care about what's going to be profitable and entertaining for them. And, you know, I've already been down that road of the UFC has a real issue with deciding if they're going to be more of an entertainment or more entertaining than sport or more sport than entertaining, you know. Everyone's dealing with it. Football's dealing with it. Basketball's dealing with it. You know, more home runs, more three-pointers, more bombs, you know. I'm not even mad about it. I don't even care. I definitely know, though, I can say this for sure. In football, it's affecting me. I don't care as much. You know? I mean, I feel like it's only designed for gambling and fantasy, which I am crushing this year. Hello! 4th year. Took me 4 years to get it. Jeez. You gotta work those waivers. I mean, someone should have told me. Now, that being said, our league is currently being dominated by Colleen, and it's frustrating. I find myself rooting against her on a regular basis. I don't like that. I don't like what it's made me. Fantasy, it's not made me a good person. No, but yeah, you know, I mean, things change, man. You know, like you can't hold on to what it is. It's like I tell people all the time, I don't really focus on when you break up with somebody or when things end, like, oh, it's over. Yeah, it's over. That's everything in life is like that. I mean, yeah, there's some things that, you know, if you can make them work, but see, like, make like relationships, for example. To make a relationship work, you have to like let it die and kind of recreate or retool it every time. You know what I mean? Because your relationship with somebody when you're in your 20s and they're in their 20s is going to be completely different than your relationship when you're in your 40s. You see what I'm saying? So that 20s relationship is gone. And if you're fixated on the relationship that was when you were in your 20s, then you're going to always be disappointed because everything's going to change. You know, your love life is going to change. Going out is going to change. More than likely, you have a different element to your family, even if it's just having a dog or a cat. Something's going to change. A lot of times it changes for the better. It becomes more stable. So, you know what I mean? Like, people get caught up on like change, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I love trap music. I don't really have to listen to the words, you know? It's just a vibe. Some people get mad about Hans Zimmer and the effect that he's had on film scores. And it's like, dude, come on, man. I love Inception. Just catch a vibe, man. Like, you know, that's why it's so easy to win. Because everyone's always looking back. And then the smart people are the ones who stop looking back and they're just in the moment. And then the geniuses are the ones who are looking ahead. You can glance back, be in the moment, but always looking ahead. You feel the moment, you look ahead. You know? For example, like I have several people I'm working with, and they're always talking about using social media and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube as a platform to get on TV or get a record deal. It's like, you don't need a record deal. You know? You don't need to get on TV. What do you want to be on TV for? And advertisers, for the love of God, stop taking influencers out of their element and putting them on TV. It doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense, because the people looking at TV are like, who are these young people? Why are these commercials so weird? I don't get it. I feel uncomfortable, I feel weird, and now they're having a bad feeling about your product. Whereas if you just simply gave your product to the person, said do whatever you want to put it on top of your head, you want to throw it across the room, you know, let them do them. Because their audience, their tribe that they built is going to get it. They're going to understand it. They're going to feel good, and they're going to associate your product with them. You know? I mean, I personally think we're moving to a place where it's going to be so micro that it's like you're not even thinking about the influencer or their page. You're thinking about the content. And there's going to be exclusive rights to promote or to advertise on specific pieces of content. So like, what's a viral thing? There's a new thing about helping white people to feel comfortable calling the police again in those comment sections, because that's where it goes down. That's what drives social media, the comment section. It's actually, I would say 70% the comments and 30% like the actual content that hits you, you know, because you spend it's a little tricky. It's trickier than that. It's 30% the content that hits you. When you see it, you're like, oh wow, this is wild. And then it's 40, I would say about 40% like you know, the comments, and then another 30% like the exchange, you know, where you're exchanging the content as if it's your own idea, but it's as a reflection of your thoughts. Something that I cannot forget or not gloss over, because people be like, yo, you were doing this on Wednesday and you didn't mention the bombs. And, you know, to be honest, I live in New York, and that's, you know, it's kind of a scary thing to think about. And like, but, you know, you just gotta expect it. You gotta think that people are getting so emotional, and we just have to abandon these narratives of us and them, good and bad. There is no good and bad. I won't even call Donald Trump bad. His behavior is deplorable. A lot of the things he says is deplorable, but he's a husband, maybe a bad husband, but he's a husband. He's a father, maybe a terrible father, but he's a father. He's a person, he's a human. Don't call people monsters. You know what I mean? Like, don't call people monsters. Don't just boil a person's humanity down to criminal, you know? Because if he or she is a criminal, then you can do whatever to them. If they're a bad person, you know, like, I think that the police maybe more so than anybody need a very serious rebranding or re-understanding of their job. Your job is to serve and protect. Serve is before protect. Serve and protect. You are there to serve me. You know, if somebody is trying to steal from me or trying to attack me, then you can serve and protect me. You're not there to take down bad guys. Because if you go out with a mentality to take out bad guys, it's like the whole like hammer and nail thing. If you're a hammer, then everything looks like a nail. And that's how the police have been for far too long. And we can get into why that is, you know, going back to slavery, but we don't have to. So all I'm saying is that it's unfortunate, it's a little bit unnerving, but I live in New York. You know, I know every day I go out and I put my trust and faith in God, because that's what it is, you know. You can put your trust and faith in whatever you want. For me, I put it in God, you know, because there's nothing we have. New York, it's so funny because living in New York, you would think by now I would be I would have fully mastered the art of not caring, because there's just, New York just really makes you aware of how much is out of your control, you know. But I still get nervous on flying. I still get anxious. But anyway, you know, it's still a good day. It's a great day. I'm enjoying doing this. I'm going to be doing these on Wednesdays. So it's like full immersion with social media. I'm doing Instagram in the morning, YouTube in the afternoon, and Facebook Live at night. And I don't know if Snapchat has anything, or if anyone uses Snapchat. It's really sad what happened to Snapchat. I enjoyed it. I mean, you know, I enjoyed seeing where it came because, like, you know, originally it was just for like sexting. And then my little cousins were like, hey, we're on Snapchat. I was like, yo, why are you on Snapchat? That's inappropriate. But then I saw what they had done with the filters and how it became very friendly, family friendly. So, and now it's gone. Just because of Facebook stories, you know? Or not Facebook, I'm sorry, Instagram stories. Yo, you have to keep looking forward. And you have to keep on it, man. You know? Who thought MySpace was going to win? 2 major battles in my life. I don't even know what happened to Yahoo and how they fell out. Because I remember they were the thing. So I can't really speak on that battle. But 2 major battles I remember. The MySpace versus Facebook battle. And I remember the Snapchat versus Instagram battle. And I just don't understand how MySpace lost. To this day, you know, I remember the stat. It's not the statuses. It's like the stream, the feed, the news feed on Facebook. I believe that's what took him out because that's where we came. You know, it was like I knew that Apple was going to win one time when I saw iMovie. And I said, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. They're making it all in one place. They're putting everything in one place, and they're making it run incredibly smooth, and it's intuitive, and it's simple to use. And you're going to get so used to using it that if you try to do anything else with a different kind of watch or a different kind of media player or phone or, you know, laptop or tablet, it's just gonna feel so crappy. It feels so crappy using PC operating system. It just doesn't feel good, you know? And so we pay thousands. Is the product better? I think so. I enjoy it. I try to make the best of it, but I mean, you know, is a PC stronger? For sure. I can make a way stronger PC for half the price of a similar thing on Mac. But PC had it. They thought they had it. Dell was everywhere. Dell was everywhere. Now it's not. You know? MySpace had it. They got out there first. They had Tila Tequila. They had Tom. You know what I mean? MySpace was the jam. Everyone loved MySpace. And if I'm not mistaken, MySpace never really had the situation where parents and grandparents were on it. So it was still cool. Why did they fail? It doesn't make any sense. Only thing I can remember is it got really cluttered and they never embraced the status. I remember the top friends. I remember when both sides were adding photos, music to your profile. Facebook tried that, they ditched that. You know, that was the vibe on MySpace. And then they lost. Snapchat the same. Going back and forth, stories, longer stories, continuous stories, live. But stories, that's pretty much all you needed from Snapchat. Just stories. Once stories came out, you know. I'm happy to say I picked. I definitely was going back and forth. And I was like, because I used to be on Snap hard because I was seeing how DJ Khaled was working it, and he was working it, man. Just being natural, pure, loved it, you know. Anyway, so this has been real fun. I don't know why. YouTube is great. I like this. I don't know. You guys bring out the best of me. But I will say something before I leave. I will finish on this note. Something that I see people say all the time. You got to niche down. You got to niche down, however you want to say it. I disagree. We're not a niche culture. We're not living in a generation where you are a factory worker, a milkman or woman, or a male person, or you work at an office. We have lots of interests. We have lots of information. We are multiple things. So be that. It might take you longer. It might take you longer to blow up. But be who you are. Express who you are. Maybe you're amazing at this one thing and you're just mediocre at that thing, but man, that thing is still bringing value. Just do what you do and enjoy it. You know what I mean? Do what you do and enjoy it, because if you're doing what you're doing and you're enjoying what you're doing, and then something pops and you go viral, well, man, you've set yourself up for a great life. So until the next time, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. Be easy, be well. Later.